What's up? Today we're going to do a post commentary and a little route explanation on this Spellbound Caves run. Yes, I'm mic'd up for this. I feel like Spellbound Caves deserves, a post commentary video. Yeah. We have a guest with us today. Um, it's Ben from Contranaut. So
Yo, what
if
is
you
up,
want,
gamers? Yeah, so BTC invited me on a little bit to talk about the route, which I mostly made, but definitely with help from others. So we're gonna go over the route a little bit, and then we'll get into the run. So, kind of the story behind the route. There's a very set start sequence that we always do, and there's a very set ending sequence that we would like to do, but it's all about figuring out the middle. And Spellbound Caves is probably most known, like in the speedrunning community, for the difficulty with Ender Pearls. Unlike a lot of other maps, and especially Vex maps, there's only 4 pearls given to you in one of the chests. And so if you want to get other pearls, you have to get a looting axe and kill Enderman, and that's exactly what we used to do in old routes. But I wanted to try to find a route that could be just as fast or faster than those routes, but that didn't rely on the luck from the Enderman. And there's also just like time loss in general from getting the axe. So theoretically, if you could be really smart with your pearl usage, you could save time from not getting the axe, save time from not killing Enderman, and also just have a consistent run where you didn't have to rely on getting Enderman and having them drop. And so, like I said, there was a start and an end that I really wanted to do. One of the challenges with the end is that you need to smelt gold. And I found this really cool sequence when I was routing, where if we start, let's say we start at I2 here, and we continue down into the grove, you could smelt gold while you get this yellow wool, because you have to kind of go up into a little waterfall, and that takes time and you have to come back down. From there, you can go here, and then there's a new trick that we discovered where you can downclip by relogging. And so there's bedrock here in between these two areas, the Grove and Rattlebone Crypts, but you can simply just relog a couple times to downclip into this area. And so that creates a really linear path here where you can go straight to this wall, straight to this wall, and then the ending sequence is you go through this tunnel, go to this wall, come back up to this wall, and then the monument is right around here. So that's exactly what I wanted to do in the end, and that doesn't use any pearls. So theoretically, on a run where we have only 4 pearls, this end sequence is really good, and it allows us to smelt gold. The big challenge is how do we get here after doing all this other stuff? Let me trace out the start to show you. So the start's pretty simple. We start at spawn, we come in here, we get white wool, come back out, we dig through to the monument here just to get on our way. And then we kind of just come down to light blue, come back, go through I1, wrap around here, get this wall up here, go into the nether, and then in the nether it's a pretty simple run. We actually get a pick over here, and then we go get this wall and then come back. And then we known for a while about a teleportal. This is a trick found by someone named Tel52. Basically, if a pearl lands at the same tick you go through a portal, so if you go, say, from the nether to the overworld, you will be teleported to the locations where the pearl landed and not where the portal is. And so effectively, what you're doing is you're building a portal where the pearl lands without using 10 obsidian. So you're just swapping out 10 obsidian for a pearl. And in this run, there's also no obsidian. You'd have to mine obsidian with a diamond pick in order to get it. And so that's a great way to do portals with the resources we have, right? And so anyway, we knew for a while about a teleportal that you can do where you land roughly here in the nether, and that takes you to this wall right here. And so that was the start sequence in red that we knew of for a while. And then the end sequence is what I wanted to do. And basically I had 3 pearls to figure out this middle section. And so what ended up happening is Quibblington found what we thought of at the time was a niche strat where you could do a teleportal around here in the nether, and it would take you straight to this wall right here. Problem is, you had to dig out a lot of area, but I ended up finding a different setup where you could dig out a lot less area just do the trick a lot faster. And so what that allowed us to do, if we start the mid game, so to speak, here, is you can go here, use a pearl to go down here to this wool, and then continue on, do Skittering Mine, come back, and then come down here and do these 2 wools. And so that's pretty linear right there. The last sort of piece to the puzzle is how do we get back, right? So we want to end up here at this yellow part, and we end the mid game here, let's say. Well, we can also throw a pearl right before we go into the nether for the first time that lands about here, and then it's just a simple walk up to our starting point of the end game. And the beauty of the strat that Quiblington found, where you can do a teleportal to Rumbling Cavern, is you have to throw this pearl early, but you can keep it deloaded. It's far enough away where you can keep this deloaded in the whole mid game, and then load it in after you get Black Wool down here. And so that's effectively the route. We have this extension to the end game, we'll say, or we just start basically right there. And so we have this route where we do the traditional spawn sequence, where we do the first couple wools in red here, we do the nether, and then the mid game, we use 3 pearls. We throw a pearl here, and then we throw a pearl in Rumbling Cavern to this wool here. And then the final pearl we do, I skipped over, is the teleportal, right? And then along with the existing teleportal for Fleeceception, that gives us our 4 pearl count total. And it just works out really well, and it ends up being a really consistent route that BTCMR was able to take and get a really well executed run on with very little mistakes. And so we'll show that to you now.
Okay, so now we're going to show you the run I got. We're just going to talk about some details as we go. So this is just the start we saw earlier. We go into this dungeon, which has the white wool. I think that message from me in chat was true as hell. We should just reset for a chunk error, because we have to dig down. You will see we have to dig down like 20 blocks or something to get to this white wall. Well, it's like fine. Actually, I think it's faster. It's actually faster if you run through the dungeon and get the white wall that way. But like, you use so much hunger, and it just doesn't work out.
Yeah. Exactly. It saves like maybe a second if you get no mobs, but it's just not worth the risk and the hunger, like you said.
Yeah, sometimes I get mobs in this dungeon. I have to like block it off, but like, so this is a little bit of time, but it's fine. I also did get Entity Punch back in the cave. I think my Entity Punch got like cancelled because I got hit into a block right there, so I had a little less hunger than normal, but like that's fine. I lose a lot of time here. I lose 10 billion seconds missing the jump. Yeah, you can see the Victory Monument to our right there. Now we're just heading to Tenuous Crystals, which has the light blue wall. And here we get the Feather Falling Boots, so we take less fall damage, obviously. I kind of mess up the movement here.
Yeah, I think you missed just a double stack there.
I think I was supposed to go to the right more, but like, it's fine. We'll get the golden apple here for food, and then iron sword. We will need that later. Yeah, and then we just leave this area. I messed up the movement again. This run sucks. Not really.
Still way faster than any run I've gotten. This is a really good overlap with the ladders and the speed 2
Yeah. There's like another movement here you could do, like that involves stacking up earlier here. You do like a bunch of double stacks, and then you don't have to climb the ladder. And I don't actually know if it's faster. Like Speedy does it, so I guess probably it's faster. But like then you can't overlap the speed potion, so who knows?
Yeah, I think what you do is faster considering the overlap.
It's hard to say, I don't know. But yeah, this is a pretty okay crystal sleeve, I think. And then we use this inventory walk tag. This is like, the flagship content of my channel, like inventory walk. It's just, it's just a cool trick. You can do so much stuff in your inventory. Like, all you have to do is just press the pause button and then movement key and then the inventory key. Then you can just do this. And it's just really nice for managing your inventory.
You're definitely the best in the whole community at this right now, and it sets you apart in the runs, for sure.
Or with my old keyboard, probably. This trick is like really keyboard dependent. I don't know how this works. But yeah, we get a 4 in the pros here. That's all we get for the whole run. And then now we climb up this university area and we can get the library wall up there.
I really like your movement here.
Yeah,
this is really smooth.
This movement was actually it's kind of new. Like, usually you would hug this wall and then it's kind of slow because, you stop your sprint, all that. But like, if you just go up earlier, you can just keep your sprint going. It's actually pretty new.
Yeah. And this general wraparound route was found by Quib. It saves a few seconds over going up the ladder.
Yeah. And then here, this is the deload the pro deload that we do. This pro is going to be deloaded for like a few minutes. I actually tried to do this
during the entire mid game.
Yeah, I tried to do this lineup so that the pro can hit this bridge. This is also a pretty new trick. Like, people didn't do this before. The most difficult part is like getting the block clutch after the pro loads in later. Like, this is just kind of a blind. It's a blind. You have to guess when to jump. And like, I guess if you're good, you can probably hit it. But like, yeah. Also, these gas sometimes break your portal and then your run just dies. But of course, I don't get that here. And then yeah, I organize my inventory a little bit. I get this really crazy pickaxe here. And then we'll get cyan wool here.
So upcoming is the teleportals that we talked about. First one PTC is going to do is for the brown wool. So there's a setup where basically we have to throw the pearl at a specific time, but if we enter the portal as we're mining a wood block, we can get it pretty consistently.
Yeah, so we actually didn't use it to this buffer setup. This actually found quite late, because before you will have to use like a metronome or something, and you have to time the inputs manually. But now you can just hit a few keys at the same time, and then it should work out most of the time. Well, I said most of the time.
Actually, so the buffer. At first, we found a buffer setup for pearl cannons. I found that with the help of Eliodex, and then I realized that we could just use a similar thing for the teleportals, and it ended up working out really well. And now we're seeing in other maps, like for example, Sunburn Island, where you can apply that same tech. And I think a lot more maps will have teleportals in the future because of that buffer setup.
Yeah, it makes it a lot more consistent, but like, I don't know, this game is evil, so there's projectile RNG, and sometimes it just, yeah, the path just goes not where you want it to go, and it just doesn't work. It's a little unfortunate that there's this RNG part, but most of the time it should be fine. And this takes us to brown wall, which is like the one wall that's like really out of the way, so we have to use this teleport here. And then I do this relog kind of thing, and then sometimes you can clip into a block in this kind of glitchy state. And then yeah, Contranaut found this a few years ago. I guess a year ago. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then like basically it's weird, it just speeds up like a bunch of things in game, like eating food or like taking damage from fire, something like that. And also very, very importantly, the portal animation is like a second faster or something like that. This is a nice.
It's like 1.6 seconds faster. So
yeah,
we actually only do it once in the run because we're doing other things for the other portal animations. But yeah, it's very useful to just reduce that 4-second set period you have to wait in the portal.
Yeah, and then here's the this little dig we have to do for the next teleport.
Yeah.
We don't have to do this.
I thought we would have had to dig out a lot more, and that's why I didn't really seriously consider this teleportal before, but when I found this setup, it kind of all came together.
Yeah.
But yeah, this teleportal is what takes us straight to this wall, but it also lets us completely, or keep the other pearl deloaded, which again makes the whole end game work.
Yeah.
So it's just really critical for the whole route for that setup.
Yeah, I think it barely deloads. Like, I think it's on like barely 7 chunks or something like that. Like,
Yeah, I want to say if you're on 9, it loads in. I think maybe 8 works, but yeah. And then here's another thing. So this pearl I thought was going to be really slow in the new route because we have to wait for it to land. But we just so happen are able to overlap exactly getting 9 iron while this pearl is flying through the air. And so it ends up being really clean. And just another thing that makes this route actually really good.
Yeah, like the timing is really tight, but it just works out. If you get shot by like a skeleton there, you probably miss a few. Or
yeah. Fun fact: it's the only pearl in the run that is not either a teleportal or deloaded.
True.
It's just like a normal pearl, but it saves a lot of time.
Yeah, it's
you have to go down, and it just travels a lot, and you're able to fully overlap it. Like it's a really good one.
Yeah, and here's the skittering mine. We get like purple. Almost fell there. That was scary. We get purple wool here, and then we get gold and some diamonds here.
Yeah, this little route where you dig the diamonds later is pretty new, but PTC executes it really well here. You kind of just dig through the wall as you're mining the diamonds.
Yes, honestly, like it's like not even that much faster, but like, you know.
Yes.
And then you just go to this final area, or I guess like theoretically, like during a normal playthrough, this would be the final area. And then in this hallway, there's a trap that gets triggered sometimes, like here. You just have to kind of react to the sound, so you don't fall in the trap. And here I organize my inventory a little more, like I just put the wall into their correct slots, so it's easier later.
So we have a TNT jump coming up here. This is another more new strat in the run. We want to go really high with this TNT jump, and 8 TNT is not going to quite be enough. But there's a trick where if you take damage right before the TNT goes off, you can actually go higher. We used to try to do that with flint and steel, where you would take a damage tick from the flint and steel and then go higher that way. But I actually found a setup here where if you just start holding jump right after you press that button, and then you pillar up and you take fall damage, the timing lines up perfectly so that you take fall damage and then really get height most of the time. And so PTC executes that really well here.
Yeah, definitely one of the most scariest part of the run. Yeah, sometimes you can easily just hit the obsidian below and you just die. And sometimes you just don't get enough height. I think it's just kind of RNG. But yeah, here I just get a good height. And here's this reload into the pro we hung like 3 minutes ago. And I failed the block clutch here, which is unfortunate. I think it saves like 3 seconds or something like that. But yeah, it's fine. So now we're going to go to this grove part, where there's like a waterfall we have to climb up, and then we also overlap the smelting a little bit.
Yeah, here's the start of the end game I was talking about, where we don't use any pearls.
This waterfall climb just kind of works out for the smelting part. Like you still have to wait a little bit at the end, but like this is the best you can do. There's nowhere else to really overlap.
Yeah, you would think it wouldn't be that big of a deal to find a place to smelt gold, but it actually is really hard. And it just barely works out here, where we can get the wool and then do a bit of crafting and only have to wait just a little bit for the gold to finish.
yeah, there's actually a small mistake here that I should start collecting gold from like the first furnace I put the gold in, right? And not, I picked the wrong furnace here, and this is like the last one, so I probably lose like half a second or something, I don't know. But it's like, okay. And now we're going to get this next wall, and then we'll do the down warp, which is like a really big part of this round. Yeah, so we just relock a few times, and then on 2RD you just clip down for some reason. I don't know. Shout out cheating.
Yeah, basically that down clip makes this whole end game work, and allows you to just like really efficiently chain those two areas together.
And here I do a really big inventory walk, just organize the rest of the wall together. And then we get this next wall here. And we kind of just make our way back to the monument. But before that we have an orange and magenta, which you will see in a little bit.
We have a second TNT jump coming up here. Another more recent thing I found is we're basically going to overlap the TNT fuse with getting the orange wool, which saves a second or two.
Yeah, it does use like 2 more TNT, so you kind of can misplace any TNT. We just don't have enough. Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna like mine the wool and then get set up. Wow, the TNT's going off.
Yeah, half a heart. Scared.
Yeah.
This creepers here, I was so scared. Yeah, I hockey that into my third slot, and then we make our way to the monument. And also like put 1 to 9, 1 to 8 onto my hotbar here. And yeah, at this point I knew it was going to be world record probably, but no, I wasn't completely sure how fast it was. Because I played in full screen, I couldn't even see the live split. So yeah, I just knew that it was pretty fast. And here is the monument. So yeah, that was kind of the run. It's kind of crazy because, you know, after this run I kept playing for like a few hours, and then in those like 3 hours or so I got like 3 more 937s. So that was kind of crazy. It just shows that, you know, this is a pretty good time, but if someone tried hard enough, they can definitely take this a lot lower. Like by the end of that stream, my sum of best, you can see like currently the sum of best is 924. By the end of that stream, it was like 919 or something like that. It's kind of crazy. So I think 2x, you can definitely do it if you just try hard enough. I don't think I would do it unless someone plays this map again. Not gonna say who, but yeah, it's just an okay run. It's a pretty good run, I guess. But like, you know, speedrunners, you have to call your run mid, or you're not a real speedrunner. But yeah, actually, really fun fact: Speedy Cube got actually another world record, which is 942. The like literally the night before I got this run. Like he just didn't tell anyone. I guess bro was trying to hide the run or something. I don't know. He did misplace like 2 walls at the end, so the run could have been a 938. But you know, this would have still been the world record. But yeah, it's just a really interesting bit of history. So another thing I want to mention is the live split you see on the right. That was made by Noso from No Silvera. You might know him from Mario 64. But yeah, he just started playing CTM out of nowhere and just made this crazy mod. And this mod is actually insane. It makes runs so much cooler. Like you can actually see your splits and like your stats and everything. I think it just makes it cool. Yeah, it's just a really nice mod. So that's pretty much what we have for today. Yeah, as I said, I'm probably done with this map for a little bit. I'm going to play probably other super hostile maps. I'm trying to get like a good time on Sunburn Islands right now. So you can check out the Twitch if you want. I'll probably be live sometime soon. Yeah. Thanks for watching.